Michelob Ultra and Myrtle Beach wholesaler Southern Crown Partners Incorporated know our consumers enjoy relaxing days on the water with Mick Ultra's crisp and refreshing taste in hand. It's important to remember to drink and boat responsibly. Choose to be or to designate a sober skipper before leaving the dock. Do it for your family and friends, your passengers, and everyone else on board. Michelob Ultra salutes all sober skippers who take the pledge. Cheers, and we'll see you on the water.
In Myrtle Beach, you always go at your own pace. Lie out on the sand, lie out by the pool, go boogie boarding, go surfing, walk the boardwalk, walk the marsh walk, golf at one of 90 golf courses, mini golf at one of 50 mini golf courses, fish off a pier, fish from a chartered boat, go shopping, get drinks, eat the freshest seafood. The list is exhaustive, but the experience isn't. You can go all out or do nothing at all. How you relax is up to you. There is so much to do and explore, whether you're traveling with friends, family, or just yourself. With 60 miles of beach, you're going to find your place. If this sounds like what you need, then this is where you belong.
Hey, do y'all like fishing for prizes? Maybe a trip to Costa Rica or a once-in-a-lifetime African safari? Well, the Grand Strand Fishing Rodeo is back. Thanks to the hard work of Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Trilogy Outdoors Media, this once popular event is back and it's bigger and better than ever. This event is comprised of 12 monthly competitions that culminate in November with our annual banquet and expo, the celebration of fishing on the Grand Strand. New to this event is the freshwater division that will help include all of our anglers that live and visit the Grand Strand throughout the year. Monthly species winners will receive great prize packages from Bass Pro Shop and Surf Signs and Designs. But most importantly, they will receive an invite for them and a guest to our annual banquet and an entry in the grand prize drawing. So whether you fish the rivers, a pond, the pier, the surf, or a boat, you have a chance to win the grand prizes. To get signed up or for additional information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com and click on event. Also, you can visit any of our weigh stations and registration stations to get signed up as well. Best of luck to everyone, and we'll see you at the scale.
Trilogy Outdoors.
All right, everybody. It is nice to be back here in the Trilogy Outdoors podcast studio. Actually, a.k.a. my back porch now, since the Senator is over in Africa. And today, I am actually going to be joined by the Senator. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on over in Africa and how his trip has been so far over there. Now, with the Senator, the cell phones don't work until he gets in those couple small confines of Wi-Fi network over there. And he's found his way into one of those areas, unfortunately. And we can discuss real quick about that as well. We're not going to go into any crazy details, but it is going to be an honor and pleasure to have the Senator back on Trilogy Outdoors with me. And I want to thank all of the listeners who have reached out here in the last couple of days, checking on the one and only Senator Stephen Goldfinch and making sure that he's okay. And also letting me know that you're ready for another episode. And we've got an incredible episode coming for you. And I'm probably going to get that out there if it isn't already up. It will be up in the near future, hopefully in the next day or so. And that is with David Floyd from the gun store over in Conway. David is unbelievable, and David ran the Mogadishu Mile, and we're going to talk about that. But for right now, we're going to see if we can't get Senator Stephen Goldfinch on the phone with us and talk a little about what's going on over in Africa. And let's see what's happening over there. And again, I had good reception with him earlier, so let's see how it goes. How about it, Senator? You there, brother?
You got me. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, man. How many miles away are you exactly? Do you know that?
I think I looked one time, and it's like 6,000, 7,000 miles away. Long ways.
That is a long ways away. Now, I just let everybody know that you are, unfortunately, within some Wi-Fi confounds and able to talk to us this morning. And, of course, it's morning here and afternoon over there. But man, it's great to have you back on. And I was letting everybody know that the David Floyd podcast will be up soon. And I'll tell you, Stephen, that is one that I would have loved to have had you sitting in on with David.
Well, we'll do another one with him. David's a good guy, good friend. He was in that battle of Mogadishu, which was just south of where I am right now.
That is right. That is. Once again, let's talk about exactly where you're located, where you're at. Everybody hears Djibouti and the name sounds familiar, but where exactly in Africa are you? Are you up in that Horn area? I call it the Upper Horn or whatever.
Yeah, if you just imagine the very right hand side of Africa where the Horn is, I'm right on the Horn. Most people would say one of the worst places in the earth on the world. It's surrounded by countries that aren't very friendly.
Yeah.
To the south, we've got Somalia and Mogadishu, which is where David was. To the north, we've got Eritrea, which nobody really knows where that is. To the west, to the southwest, we've got Ethiopia. To the west, we've got Sudan and South Sudan, and everybody sort of understands and has heard what's going on there. And then Niger, sort of to the west of that, which is where the big coup's going on right now.
Right.
And then to the east, directly to the east across the Strait of Aden, which is only like 11 miles from here, is Yemen. So right in the hot spot of where all the crazy things in the world are happening right now.
Yeah. So looking out from where you're at, are you able to see the water there?
If I walk to the other side of the building, I'm on the western-facing side. If I walk to the eastern-facing side of the building where I am, and I look out over the airfield, I can see the ocean.
You can. So, have you seen
Yeah.
Have you seen fishing boats? Is there much in the way of fishing there?
Yeah, there is. Actually, I went on an off-base mission. I guess it was last weekend, and one of the things they like for us to do when we're on those off-base missions is to eat on the economy. So we found this little restaurant somebody at the base had recommended to us, and it was a Yemenese restaurant, and it was right off the beach, and they had coolers in the back. This is just like a concrete building, basically, a concrete block building, and they had coolers in the back, what you would call the kitchen.
Right.
Full of fish, and and I looked through all of them. You get to pick your own fish, and then they cook it right on a fire in the kitchen for you. And I looked through the coolers. I saw what I would call mangrove snapper. I saw barracuda. I saw what I would call hardtails, or probably giant trevally, but small giant trevally.
Right.
I saw something that looked like a Cubera snapper, and then they had some stuff that looked like beeliners. So, I mean, there's definitely game fish here, and I know there's giant trevally here, and really big giant trevally. But I have not had an opportunity, unfortunately, been so busy, haven't had an opportunity to go get out in the ocean and get any fishing done while I was here.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we all know that U.S. didn't send you over there on a vacation trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately. Well, how about, you and I talked before you went over about a YouTube guy that you had found. Does he fish in that area? Is that where he fishes?
Yeah, I found a French soldier that's got a YouTube channel that does a lot of fishing. Of course, the French don't ever seem to be as busy as we are. They've got time to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a fairly big fishery here from what I can tell. But I mean, it's not a place that you would come on vacation.
Right.
Let's just put it that way. Especially, I mean, you venture too far in one direction and you're in Somaliland or Somali waters.
Yep.
which is full of pirates. You venture too far to the east, and you're in Yemen.
Yep.
Which is a terrible place to be. So yeah, I mean, there's supposedly a great fishery here, but you would really need to find somebody that knows what they're doing to keep you safe.
So y'all don't leave base. Y'all don't leave base alone. I'm gonna guess.
No. You usually always go in a group if you're leaving base.
Man, well, and what group are you with over there? Who are you exactly with, or can you disclose that? I guess because I know there are some South Carolina National Guardsmen with you as well, right?
Oh yeah. So the 218th MAB, that's the Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, is the group that I'm with here. But we have a number of other units here. We have branches we have everybody from every branch here. And I'm sitting basically on an airfield right now, and we have Ospreys and C-17s, and so we have all kinds of different air assets here that are run by Navy, Marine, Air Force.
Yep.
You've got everybody here. We've got Coast Guard. Even here, so yeah, we've got a number of different units and groups here.
Wow. Well, you know we were talking about you being inside a Wi-Fi range for a little bit, and real quick, you were involved in an accident, and you're in everybody's thoughts and prayers for a complete recovery, and we don't know the extent of it yet, so we're not going to really talk about it. But did you want to say anything about it at all?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate everybody. I've had hundreds of emails and text messages, and it's great to feel the love from home. It looks, I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but it looks like I've torn my pectoral muscle from my shoulder and my rotator cuff. We've got to figure out. There's not great health care here in the Horn of Africa, as you can imagine, and the base doesn't have any assets it needs to really do any kind of imaging or surgery, and so they're gonna send me to Germany in a couple of days, and once I get up to Germany, they got great military hospitals in Germany, and so we'll probably get an MRI by the first of the week, and hopefully understand the extent of the damage then, and I'll report back with some further details after that.
Good deal, man. Well, you're in our prayers. In the meantime, man, I'll just let you know, astounding. The last 2 weeks is all I can say about A, the flounder bite here, and B, the amount of people that I have had comment on the changes that were made to the flounder limits and everything else. And I just wanted to pass that along to you because I know you get beat up with all the bad things when they happen and everybody's calling and complaining. But just to give you a heads up on that, it's been some of the best flounder fishing that I can imagine. I know Jason Burton and the guys at MIFC will vouch for it, but more so in the last 2 weeks, really, where you think these are the dog days of summer. Struggle to fish, it's always tough this time of the year. But the flounder bite has been incredible, Stephen. It has been.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It took a long time for us to figure out how to go and where to go with that flounder reg, and I think we ended up in a place that was just right. And I'm glad it's paying dividends. I'm looking forward to getting back there and seeing some of the fish. I probably won't be back in the States until mid-October to 1st of November. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver there.
Right.
So, but I would guess October, November. So I might get back in time for some fall fishing. I'm looking forward to it.
Now with the extent of your injuries, which we again once don't know, do you? I mean, we know that with that, just to the pectoral muscle tear, the recovery on that is extent, isn't it? I mean, you're gonna be in rehab and everything else for a while, won't you?
Yeah, the doctor last night or the night before said it'd probably be a year before I'd be able to get back in the gym to any real extent. But I'm gonna get a good physical therapist that knows that reeling motion, that reeling of a big 50 wide motion, and I'm gonna get her to train me on that.
Oh no, we've already figured out that the fact that electric reel may become your best friend for a while.
Oh yeah, I've got no problem with that. I'm not ashamed.
You can still press the button. You can still press the button.
You dang right. I'll be the best button pusher you'll ever see.
Hey, you need to give a shout out to your wife real quick too. A big congratulations, I hear.
Yeah, she actually got pinned today, like just a few minutes ago. I got a picture text. She passed all of her nursing school exams and her final, and they pinned her today, and so she's officially a nurse. She's got to go take the NCLEX. I think she takes that sometime in the next 4 or 5 weeks, but I'm sure she'll pass. She's a smart woman, and we're super proud of her. I know the kids are. I'm definitely proud of her.
Well, that's
She's worked
great.
really hard.
Yeah, we all are, and she does work hard, and she's been helping me. Just so you know, she's been offering and helping every way she can to help me out over here too, with Trilogy and everything that's going on with it. There was a couple other questions I had for you. Let's see what else. Your
So
dad.
where are you?
Oh, I am in the new junior varsity, the junior varsity version of the Trilogy Outdoors podcast studio. I am sitting on my back porch.
Sweet.
I'm sitting on my
Oh,
back porch, enjoying somewhat of a comfortable morning so far.
well, I was wondering if you were down at the Marsh Walk. I didn't. I was going to live vicariously through you because where I am, not nearly as pretty, not nearly as pretty as Merle's Inlet.
No. I was down this morning when you and I were speaking earlier, and I found out that you had cell service. But I was earlier at the church and at the public landing watching people put in before I had a meeting over at Dead Dog Saloon. And real quick, hey, do you care to comment at all about the recent happenings at the public landing, or do you want to stay away from that? Up to you.
No, I don't mind. I have been working on that a little bit with county council and with the sheriff. My understanding is that the sheriff felt compelled, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'll tell you what I think I know.
Yep.
The sheriff felt compelled to write some tickets based on an ordinance that the county council wanted enforced. I don't know if anybody now, including county council, believes in that ordinance or its validity or or whether or not it's a good idea. And so my understanding is they're all working together now to resolve that issue. As soon as I heard about it, I jumped right on that, and I talked to the sheriff and a number of county council members, and they're all now seems to be moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. And as outdoorsmen here, we appreciate the fact that you're over there in Africa. And I'll be honest with you, I tried to head off some of the complainers and those that I knew would go right to you because I was like, hey, he is busy. But I do also know that you feel obligated to your constituents to, do your job while you're over there doing your other job with the U.S. Army. But I'll say I can understand where it came from and why there was such a knee-jerk reaction immediately to start with that. And I have talked to several people that got tickets. And what we're talking about here locally at Merle's Inlet, obviously we have a large charter fleet that uses the public landing, that takes these tourists that come in and bring money into town, takes them out fishing, and enjoys our resources. And this ordinance, unfortunately, was not. I don't know if it was designed to deter them, but it was designed to deter our public landings from becoming a commerce site. And unfortunately, some tickets did have to be written. All the people that got in their tickets that I've talked to are, ready to go to court later this month. I'm actually going to go with them. I want to go hear it because the translation of the ordinance can be taken in so many different ways. You know what I mean? I think that was too, again, I don't want to speak on behalf of Carter, but that was the issue that Carter had with it, is like how many different groups that it actually encompassed, And so I think we'll move forward, and thank you for your emails and contacting those with the powers to be. We were all ready to get together and have a big meeting and sit down with them and just explain, the impacts and everything else. But also I see the county side of it, and, our public landings are numerous. They are quite an expense to keep up, and, if there's a way to everybody meet in the middle and make everybody happy, It would be great to see some of these landings have some upgrades and everything else. But we all know that the one in Murrells Inlet, the main one that we're discussing here, does have some plans in the near future, correct? To have some changes made there, right?
Yeah, it does. And, but regardless, I think here's the problem that you get into reading the ordinance, and I'm trying to not put my lawyer hat on here, but you get into looking at the ordinance and understanding that it might not be able to be enforced, and it might not be able to be enforced uniformly across all the different areas of commerce.
Right.
So, are they going to be writing a ticket to all the Bassmaster guys when they come down here? And as the county wants them to come down here because it's a big economic boom for Georgetown County. But
right.
Guess what? Those guys are making money.
Yep.
Are they going to be writing tickets to salvage and recovery guys when they put in to go scrub the bottom of boats or get props from the bottom of the ocean? Are they going to be writing tickets to the jet ski guys when they put their jet skis in? Are they going to be writing tickets to the parasail boats?
Yep.
They happen to put their boat in through the boat landing. Are
Yep.
they going to be writing their tickets? I mean, I can just go on.
How about me?
What about the commercial? What about the crabbers?
Yep.
Yeah.
How about me?
I mean,
if I go to film a show, a show and film video for us for Trilogy Outdoors, I'm basically creating commerce for us and creating video content that is to generate revenue, and I fall under it,
That's right. Shrimpers, crabbers, you name it. I mean, oystermen. You get into you're opening up a can of worms by picking one of those groups, the charter guys. You're opening a can of worms you can't close.
Yep.
And so if they want to ban all commerce from all public landings, I think you'd shut down Georgetown County's economy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a big deal if you were to enforce that ordinance the way it should be enforced. And I don't think it was probably thought out as much as it should have been. And so I have high hopes, though, the current county council, which my understanding is the current county council is not responsible for the ordinance, it's the older county council.
Right.
So my understanding is the new county council understands it now, and they're going to try to resolve the problem.
Exactly, and that's great, and it does sound like we're on that path as we're moving. Hey, I wanted to run. Hey, we're going to kind of have a little business meeting while we're here, but I want to talk to you about idea with the magazine, a little change in the magazine, and I want to run it by you, and you're on the air, so you can shoot me down. Honestly, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But so we've got some interest in advertising on the cover. Quite a few people that want to advertise on the cover of Trilogy Outdoors magazine, and we're thinking about going to more or less like your typical magazine cover, where you've got your a great photo that might be your story of the month, and some advertising from various partners, and basically a big logo, our Trilogy Outdoors magazine logo. And then the stories will commence as you open the magazine. What are your thoughts on that?
It could be. It could be workable. I don't know. We'll have to sit down and talk about what's fair and whether or not we can still keep our branding. But I mean, right now, there's nothing that really offends me about the idea. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. And the one thing, of course, our wives are our biggest fans, and our and they're the first to criticize, and they should be. But the one thing my wife said was that, a lot of times people look down. If it's a really good cover story, they might grab it, because they see the content of the cover story or start reading it, versus just a picture to go with the cover story. So I'm torn. I'm torn on it myself, but I got a couple designs, and I'm going to email you one that Cindy did. But, I hate to talk work, but I know you probably would rather talk work than half the stuff you're having to deal with over there right now. So I figured I'd hit you.
Yeah, that's good. No, I enjoy talking about work. We'll talk about it some more. I'll sleep on it and make sure there's nothing that pops out about it that is concerning. But right now, I don't see a problem with that.
Well, that's good. And also, on behalf of Stephen and I, Scott, Clayton, your family are continue to be in our thoughts and prayers with the loss of your dad. And we know you're a loyal listener and great friend of both Stephen and I. But you are definitely in our thoughts and prayers and going forward. And I'll tell you what, he's another one that's been awesome and working on me as far as making sure I get this content up, and he loves it, man. He said he listens to every single one, and if he has to listen to them twice, he does to make sure he doesn't miss anything. But he is excited about the David Floyd podcast.
Oh yeah. Scott's a good fellow. I'm glad we got folks like him patrolling the roads.
Amen. Patrolling the roads. Well, listen, I know you don't have but a little bit of time there. I know I don't want to hold you too long. And anything else you want to share, talk about, questions, or anything you want to ask about what's going on back here? Feel free. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I've missed so much already. I've been gone since June, and I'm going to be gone another 2 months. So my favorite time of the year to be in the low country of South Carolina is coming up. And, there's nothing, I don't know exactly what day it is, but there's a day, and it's probably that first day when you start feeling fall, when you walk outside,
Oh, yeah.
There's a day where you know that things are just about to start changing and life's about to start changing. And I'm going to miss that being here and or in Germany. I probably will be in Germany. But I want to live vicariously through y'all while I can, and I want to hear some stories. I still have my trail cameras up at my farm in Johanna.
Oh, do you really?
And I'm watching them every night when I get back home, and I get Wi-Fi, I pull them up and look at them, and I've got a number of bears, and I've got plenty of pigs, and my corn and my chufa and my impalements growing. I can see that from the cameras.
Yep.
And so I'm looking forward to getting back and seeing all the changes and feeling the cool weather. And you don't really know how much you miss cool weather until you're in 130 degree weather every single day.
Ooh.
It's just miserable hot here.
My question is, and by the way, I'm getting ready to go pick up the baddest order of shirts. We modified those shirts that I had made for you to take over. We modified, and we took the pin spur feather off the back, which was your idea, and we put the what do you call that flag? The battle flag, or what would you call that flag? Is there a correct terminology for it?
On the right shoulder?
On the right shoulder, absolutely. Facing backwards, yeah. Right? Facing forwards, or the flags going into battle, yes.
Yeah, just like you're dragging it in the wind.
Yep.
Like the wind's blowing it. Yeah, you put it on the right-hand shoulder, yeah. And then, if it's subdued color, yeah, that's the deployment flag that you wear on your uniform when you're overseas deployed.
Well, I am going to pick up a very large order of those that we had made, and I'm going to get your address over there that we can, and get Renee to ship you a couple, because we got a couple different colors. And of course we went with all colors that y'all can wear as undershirts. But also we had so many listeners that wanted them after they saw yours, and they wanted to know if they came with the muscles, and I'm sure right now they're probably second guessing that. But we did clean them up, and they look really good. I'm picking those up this afternoon. So if you keep an eye out on Trilogy Outdoors Facebook page, and for those to come up for sale, because they are comfortable, aren't they? You love that soft, that texture is perfect on them.
Oh man, they're nice and soft and very comfortable. They fit just right. Some t-shirts, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably built a little different from some other people, but I either find a t-shirt that's too tight across the chest and too high up on my waist.
Yep.
And it just, one or the other, and they never quite fit right. But this one, just right across the chest and just long enough where you're not, showing like you're midriff. And I like them a lot, and I'm gonna I'm going to get a couple from you, and looking forward to wearing those. They're
Yeah,
very comfortable.
we'll definitely get them sent over to you. Hey, one last question, and I did have, and actually not only did I have, but a couple people did that I talked to after I realized I was going to get to talk to you and record a podcast with you. Can you disclose or can you discuss what a typical day of yours over there is like? Like real quick, just kind of a rundown of a normal Wednesday if you weren't hanging out where you are right now. A normal Thursday, excuse me, it's Thursday. What that would entail for you, or if you can't, then I
Yeah.
understand. But what does
No,
that
I mean,
entail?
I could give you some examples of things. I mean, honestly, every day is a little different.
Different, yep,
The last week or two's been sort of high paced because of the Niger coup
yep,
and what's going on there. We have soldiers, we have soldiers from here, we have soldiers from America, and we have diplomats, and we have people from the people that we're responsible for are United States citizens and dual citizens living in Niger, and sort of the same situation with Sudan when that popped off. And so that's sort of changed the pace around here. So the last week or two has definitely been different. Traditionally, what would happen is we start our day with a briefing, and that that briefing is usually focused on what the hot topics of the day or the week are. Obviously, for the last couple of weeks, that's been Niger. Before that, it was Sudan, and then at some point in time, we get into like a TOC, like a Tactical Operations Center, or a Joint Operations Center. And, you've got IFR resources there where you can look at, different assets, and you can see different assets in the air, you can see different assets on the ground, and commanders can make sort of strategic decisions about, what needs to happen. And my goal in all of that is to give good, solid legal advice on, basically, if we're talking about operational law in the deployed environment. Operational law is a lot of that is who you can kill and how you can kill them.
right,
And so that's, those are some of the conversations that we have on a regular basis. But there's also, there's a lot of different. I'm sort of geeking out here on you on the legal side of things, but there's a lot of legal opportunities in the military that a lot of people just don't contemplate. But operational law is certainly one of them. That's the one that I think everybody would think is sexy, because it's the one that deals with drones and fire and missiles and rules of engagement and briefings on the ground in combat zones, and those are you can sort of get your hands dirty and understand what's going on in some really crazy parts of the world. But you also got some fairly lofty, brainy stuff like how you spend money on certain operations, and what commanders can and can't do as far as how you spend money, and prosecution of things like war crimes. And
yep,
there's lots of in Africa at least, there's lots of opportunities to look for bad stuff on the ground.
right.
There's rumors of genocide in every coup, and so you get to deal with some of that stuff, and you get to deal with military justice issues. And it's a very eclectic practice for lawyers. If you're sort of a nerd like me, it's interesting because you get to do a lot of different stuff. You get to be on the ground with all of the excitement, and you also get to be up at the strategic level, helping make strategic decisions about what missiles to fire and where to send troops and how to send them and with what to send them with, and so you really get an opportunity to see it from the combatant operational tactical level on the ground all the way up to the strategic clouds in the sky sort of level, 30,000 foot level. Which is really pretty cool. You see it from all the way from tactical up to operational, up to strategic. That's not an opportunity that most soldiers get to see. They only get sort of stuck in one of those levels, either tactical,
Right.
operational, or strategic. I get this from operating all those environments at some point in time. So
That is great.
very interesting.
That is great.
Yeah.
Technically, you're a captain, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, somebody was asking what your rank was. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I appreciate you taking 30 minutes to hang out and chat, and I know you got a lot going on, but, man, you continue in our prayers and all of our listeners' prayers, and anybody that wants to send Stephen a message, you are more than welcome to email me at triloggyoutdoorsmedia@gmail. Please email me, and I will get them over to Stephen. Stephen, any last words, brother?
No, thank y'all. Appreciate your prayers. Appreciate your thoughts. Appreciate you just doing what you're doing. And, English, thanks for holding it down, buddy.
Absolutely, brother. Well, listen, man, Godspeed to you, and hope you get some relief, and let us know how everything works out when you get to Germany, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
All
See
right,
you.
man. Later, brother. All right, folks. There he is, the one and only Captain Senator Stephen Goldfinch, joining me live from Djibouti, Africa. And what a pleasure. And if you would like to send a letter, send anything over to Stephen, you can get it to me at triloggyoutdoorsmedia@gmail.com. I will get that all bundled up and sent over to him. We'll get him some love, and with his, like he said, long recovery process from the injuries. And we'll keep him in our prayers. And, folks, we thank y'all so much for listening to Trilogy Outdoors Podcast every week. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and download, and share it with all your friends. Share it with all your friends. We love what we share here, Fins, Fur, and Feathers. You know you can find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors Podcast. Freeman Boat Works and Trilogy Outdoors are proud to announce the addition of Freeman Boat Works to our family of incredible partners. Billy Freeman and his team at Freeman Boat Works epitomize the American dream. From building the first boat in Billy's backyard to a 150,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing plant over the past 15 years, they are building one of the most sought-after boats in the U.S. and beyond. These incredible fishing platforms are built in South Carolina and are second to none in stability, speed, and performance overall. These catamaran designs are engineered not only to get you to the fish fast, but comfortably too. Years of refining designs and pioneering the modern performance fishing catamaran is why Freeman Boat Works is the #1 choice for some of the biggest names in the fishing industry. If it's long runs in the Gulf or the Carolinas, or days you can go fishing in South Florida when most center consoles stay at the dock, Freeman Boat Works is at the forefront in all categories. For more information on Freeman Boat Works and their 6 available models, visit www.freemanboatworks.com. Redefine your expectations.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'Em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit triloggyoutdoorsmedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.